Next question, and it reads in the question sentence, which of the following could be x? Okay, sounds good. So we want to know a possible value of x, and the information that we see that we're given is that we have 6 numbers, 10, 18, 22, 25, 31, and x have a median of 22.5, 22.5. So which of the following could be that missing 6th value? Okay, sounds good. So I'll go ahead and just draw out 6 individuals here. So we have 2, then 4, and then 6. Perfect. And I'll just spread those commas out. And then we saw that our median is 22.5. Okay, so with that, everybody, when we're taking a look at this, and our median is said to be 22.5, where am I writing 22.5, everybody? Which spot? Is it going to be in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth? Which one, in which of these spaces are we supposed to write the 22.5? Which one? I see some folks saying the third, some saying the fourth. All right, so answer this question for me, everybody. The median is the number that appears in the what? What's that M word that we're going to add there? The median is the number that appears in the middle. That's right. So think about how that's going to be calculated with 6 numbers, an even number of numbers, everybody. It's an even number of numbers. If this was an odd number like 3, it would be in the middle right there. If it was an odd number like 5, again, it would be in the middle. But we don't have 3 or 5 or 7. We have 6, an even amount. And what we need to understand before we continue is that, hey, the way that we get to this number is going to be by taking the 2 numbers in the middle, right over here and right over there, and we find the average. That's how we would technically get there if we knew what all 6 numbers were. So before I continue, yes or no, does that make sense? Again, if we knew all 6 of these numbers, to find the median, we would take the middle 2 and find the mean. Add them up, divide by 2, and that's how we would technically get here. Great. So if you understand that that's how we get here, watch what we can do now. Let's go ahead and place these numbers where we can. We have 10, 18, 22, 25, and 31. So I'll go ahead and throw these around. Let's go ahead and just say we have 10, 18, 22, 25, 31, and then let's say we have X. So everybody, the way things are right here as is, you tell me, if we had 22 and 25 in the middle, so like let's assume that X was like something like 31 or bigger, so it's all the way over here. Everybody, if we were to do this and find the average, is 22.5 right in the middle of 22 and 25? Is 22.5 right there in the middle between these two? No, it's not. It's not. The number that's directly in the middle would be what? 23.5, not 22.5. So this doesn't work. This does not work. Everybody, can we confirm that? Like, let's actually just show the math and just be very clear. Let's pretend that these are the 2 numbers in the middle. 22 plus 25, that's going to be 47. And then when we divide 47 by 2, just check this out. 2 into 47, 2 goes into 4 twice. And then 2 into 7, that'll be 3. So we'll subtract the 6, get 1 left over, drop to 0. That's 5 because 2 goes into 10 5 times. Everybody, that's 23.5, not 22.5. So everybody, can we agree that the way that this is set up does not work? Can we agree with that? 25 cannot be the 4th number on this list. Can we agree on that? Perfect. So what that means, my party people, is that this 25 and 31, let's move them over one slot. We actually have to figure out what number belongs here that will create the mean or the average between these two, 22 and a half. Everybody, what's the only number that could fit in there? If we're trying to get 22 and a half to be the middle point, we go down by half to get 22. We would go up by half to get what? 23. Exactly. 23. Because think about it. What's directly between 22 and 23? 22 and a half. Right there. So 23 is the only value that would actually work to get that median that we were given. This is about following the rules and the conditions that we're given, finding what number we can plug in to achieve that. We could not have anything under 22 because that would then push this 22 over here. And we know that if we're calculating the average between 22 and a number smaller than it, the mean would never go up to 22 and a half. That's impossible. That's mathematically illegal. That would not work at all. So it couldn't be smaller or equal to 22. It would have to be bigger than 22, and it would have to be just bigger than it to be 23. It couldn't be super, it's super greater. It would have to be right there. And that's the only value that works. All right, next question up. Let's go ahead and handle this with that grace that we have. So the question sentence reads, how many ounces of cashews are needed if you use 35 ounces of almonds? So what that tells me is that, again, I need to find the number of ounces of cashews when compared with 35 ounces of almonds. All right, so that's a pretty straightforward relationship there. Now, when we take a look at the information that we're given, let's see if we can set up the information comparing it in the same way. Because we have cashews to almonds, and I see here that it says a trail mix recipe uses almonds and cashews in a 7-to-4 ratio. So again, when you read a ratio, we have to respect the order in which it's written. So 7 is the first number, almonds is the first term, so almonds represents 7, and then cashews is represented by 4. Booyah, nice and easy. So we'll write that out. We'll go ahead and say, we'll say 4 over here for cashews. Be very careful because the 7 can get you. The 7 is, again, for almonds, and almonds is actually written second. So be very careful there. But once we're there and we have it all written out, now we're good to go because we can make the same comparison in the same way. We have cashews up top, almonds on the bottom, and let me show you what's going on here. I'll just use C for cashews, so we'll do C over 35, again comparing like that, and then 4 compared to 7. So cashews on top, almonds on the bottom, and we are now good to go. So to get this done, we can cross multiply and divide. We can compare the same things in the same way. Either way, we can get the answer. So I can multiply by 5 right to left. And so that's how we'll get the answer. Multiply by 5 right to left, right there. Or again, we can just cross multiply and divide. Nice and easy. So we can do C times 7, 7C, 35 times 4, which ends up becoming 140. 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 2 is 14. So there we go. We have 7C equals 140. And now all we have to do to finish this up is divide both sides by 7. There on the left, there on the right. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Bring that 0 along, and that is 20. So there we go. C equals 20 ounces. And so there we are. The correct answer here is answer choice C. And there we go, my party people. Hopefully that was a nice and straightforward one for us to comprehend.